I've lived in the same block for 5 years. You learn the rhythms of a building like that. Which neighbors work late? Which ones are up before 6? You notice the gaps too. The apartments that go quiet. The apartment below mine had been empty for 8 months. The woman who lived there moved interstate. The building manager said the owner was renovating before reletting. Nothing was happening in it. Then I started hearing things. Not the sounds a building makes. Movement. Footsteps. Below me. In the empty apartment. On the Thursday of the second week, I came home late and stopped in the stairwell. There was light under the door of 7B. Not bright, more like a screen or a lamp. Just enough to be visible. I called the building manager. He said probably a tradesperson working late. Said he'd check in the morning. I went upstairs and lay on my floor with my ear pressed to the floorboards. I could hear breathing. Or I thought I could. In the morning, the building manager said he'd checked. Nothing there. Empty and locked. That same night, I heard the footsteps again. Slow. Deliberate. Moving in a pattern directly below my bed. I knocked on the door of 7B the next evening. Told myself I'd knock and leave if no one answered. I knocked 3 times. No answer. Then after a long pause, a sound from inside. Something being set down carefully on a hard floor. I called the police non-emergency line. They sent a car. 2 officers knocked on 7B. No response. They got the building manager to open it. Empty. No person. No equipment. Except the floor was clean. Recently swept. The floor of 7B was clean. I asked the building manager for access to the lobby CCTV. He was reluctant. I was persistent. He showed me a week of footage. One evening at 11:42 p.m., a figure in dark clothing moving toward the stairwell. He said it could be anyone. A visitor. A resident. He wasn't wrong. But it was nearly midnight, and it was moving toward the stairs, not the lift. The stairs which go past 7B. I put a motion sensor on the 7th floor landing. Cheap one, the kind that triggers a phone alert. First 2 nights, nothing. Third night, at 12:08 a.m., it went off. Then I heard the footsteps below. This time, I called the police with the evidence. Alert timestamp plus audio I'd recorded on my phone pressed to the floorboards. They staked out the building for 3 nights. On the 3rd night, they found him. He'd been accessing the building through the car park with a cloned resident fob. Inside 7B, he'd found a storage cupboard behind a false wall panel. He had bedding, a phone charger. He had been sleeping in the apartment below mine. For how long, they couldn't determine. The clone fob had been active for at least 6 weeks. He had no connection to the building. Not the previous resident. Nothing. He was charged with trespass. Received a suspended sentence. I moved out within 3 weeks of his arrest. I could not continue to live in the building. Not after 6 weeks of knowing what had been below me. I think about the nights I slept not knowing. The weeks of going about my life 8 floors up while someone was living below, in a space that belonged to no one. Just below everything I thought was private. He was sleeping in the building below me for 6 weeks. 6 weeks of quiet footsteps in an empty apartment. 6 weeks before anyone believed me. 6 weeks and a motion sensor that cost $12.